thank you once again for gracing us with your presence. This is the official response to the Supreme Court judgment handed down today at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have noted the decision of the Supreme Court of Zimbabwe, which dismissed, without proffering any reasons, the appeal by President Xavier Kasukuwere on the basis that it lacks merit. Regrettably and unfortunately, the court failed to deliver reasons of coming up with such a conclusion in a matter where millions of Zimbabweans were awaiting the results and have an interest in knowing what led to the court's decision. The court delivered a bare judgment with a promise to deliver reasons in the future. It is a sad day for Zimbabwe. As stated earlier by counsel for President Xavier Kasukuwere, the country faces a constitutional crisis. The Supreme Court, in its judgment, has surely abdicated its duties, its judicial function, and as such, the legal team has been instructed to approach the Constitutional Court to apply for direct access so that the Constitutional Court can review this decision. These processes, which are already in motion, are fortified by the deep-rooted desire to save our beloved country and state institutions from the brazen capture which is escalating to the extent of plunging the whole country into a constitutional and electoral crisis. What we have seen in the past few days, coupled with the High Court order from Bulawayo, which also set aside the nomination of CCC candidates, we are seeing that this election is unique in its own way because it is being played out in the courtrooms. The judiciary has usurped the people's power to decide who to lead them. The fate of the country has now been captured by a few individuals who have taken it upon themselves to twist the law and apply it unevenly in such a manner as to prejudice and deprive the majority of Zimbabweans of their right to vote, which is enshrined in the Constitution. It is all the more sad regarding the history of this country, where we come from, how this right for one man, one vote was attained through the blood of the many sons and daughters of our nation who died in the bushes, who died outside of the country, to ensure that each and every one of us is entitled to their vote. Yet today, a few individuals clothed in judiciary clothes have taken it upon themselves to limit that right and to stifle the political space. This is indeed sad and regrettable. Whilst President Kasukuwere pursues his options to protect his own rights and the rights of his supporters and the rights of millions of Zimbabweans to have a say and a choice in determining who leads them, we wish to make it abundantly clear that the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission is legally bound to print the paper with President Kasukuwere's name and face. We also take note of the fact that up to yesterday, or up to today, it's 9, The Commission could legitimately do so, but chose to wait and straddle and break timelines whilst they waited for this matter to be finalized. As there was no court order preventing the printing of the ballot with President Kasukuwere's name on it, there was no reason for ZEC to wait. The timelines of the electoral process have been compromised and breached. Why were they waiting? The nation deserves to know. Are they working in collusion with the party in power? Were they aware, or did they somehow know of the outcome of today's court case before any of us did? Because at the end of the day, it would seem like they were waiting for this day. So we challenge ZEC to maintain its independence, and we express our extreme disappointment that they chose to breach electoral timelines, which will make this election a sham, because they were playing interested party in the political arena. In light of all this and the many other transgressions, we have faced persecution, our billboards being torn down, contrary to the code of conduct governing all political parties. We wish to state that the forthcoming election can never be deemed to be free and fair. It's a compromised process. It's a tarnished process. Any government arising out of such a sham process cannot claim legitimacy. It will be a sham government. And this is not what the people of Zimbabwe went to war for. To be shepherded into sham elections, which have been predetermined, by making it difficult for other players to participate evenly. We cannot say that this is a democracy. The actions of the government acting in collusion or under the guise of the judiciary clearly show that the Constitution is no longer respected. The separation of powers is no longer separated. There is collusion. Independent constitutional bodies, the judiciary, are working hand in glove, seemingly, with the ruling party to avert the will of the people of Zimbabwe. This is regrettable and unfortunate in the history of our country.
To me, it's not a sad day because of the outcome of the Supreme Court ruling against the appeal of our president, Savior Kasukuwere. We are politicians, comrades. We will not be shaken by the ruling of the Supreme Court today. I would like to advise our campaigning teams across the country that we are continuing with our business as usual. Tyson is going to be on the ballot box, whether ED likes or not. We are going to push, we are going to do anything to make sure that our presidential candidate appears on the ballot paper come 23 August. There are issues that need a political solution. So we have changed the gear now. We are engaging into another level of politics. We don't care, we don't mind that Edi Mnangagwa claims to be police, claims to be army, claims to be courts, judiciary, whatever. We are going to hand over our boats to him. If he's going to deal with us, let it be. What we want to see in Zimbabwe is democracy. You should not choose an opponent to contest with. He's just like Xavier Kasukuwere himself. So when somebody says, here I come, I want to be the president of Zimbabwe according to the constitution, ED should simply allow the processes to go smoothly. He should not interfere with the judiciary system. As you see, comrades, that already this election is a rigged election. Rigged by the courts. He is using the courts to send a signal that he is a winner already. Just imagine, by dismissing those 12 MPs from Triple C, already ZANU-PF has pocketed 12 uncontested MPs, they have councillors, they have already senators. Now he comes again today, he says Tyson Xavier Kasukuwere should not contest an election. Why is he afraid of Xavier? There is Kasia Murde, he doesn't stay in Zimbabwe. Busha, he doesn't stay in Zimbabwe, but they are there on the list of those who want to contest for being presidents of Zimbabwe. Why only Xavier Kasukuwere? If that young boy Lovedale is claiming that his rights are being violated by Kasukuwere being on the ballot, what about myself? What about those who nominated their presidential candidates? Their rights are also being violated by ED himself. Why I'm saying it's ED, not Lovedale? It's just a trick that is being used by ED to send Lovedale to go and challenge the nomination of our presidential candidates. We are going to mobilize our people across 10 provinces. Sooner the better. We are going to make this loud and clear that it's now high time we take the bull by its horns. If it means they are going to kill us, let it be. If they are going to arrest us, let it be. Jails are not meant for animals, they are meant for the people. So we are ready. We are going to make sure all our regional leaders across the country, our commissars, will be mobilizing for a very big event to follow. We will call you again here in few days, giving a signal to our comrades in different provinces for the next move that we are going to take. We will leave the legal team to take their own route. We as politicians, we are going to take our own route as politicians. The legal team will be doing their own legal ways. We will be doing our political way. So it's high time, comrades, we make sure that we whip this old guy, this old man to lie. He must know that Zimbabwe belongs to everyone, not to himself. We are all Zimbabweans. We are tired of being abused each and every time. He's the one who appoints judges. He's the one who appoints the commissioners of the police, the generals from the army and everything. And he is using that opportunity to abuse other Zimbabweans. Yes, He is the leader at the moment. But you should allow competition. Let people choose their best presidential candidate for the betterment of our country. So we are organizing a very big event that will take place in all the 10 provinces. We are not bringing people in Harare, but we are going to make sure that all the provinces on that day, they are going to gather at a certain place and demonstrate. We hand over our petition to the relevant authorities. It's high time we come open, comrades, that our courts are captured. The judicial system is captured. How do you really expect a judge, a learned person, just to come and say, your case is dismissed, and we will give you the reasons later? They were supposed to tell us the reasons why they have dismissed our case, our appeal. But they didn't, because they are not the ones who are preparing, or they are not the ones who have prepared that dismissal. It was prepared by other people there. So I think our knuckles are itching for a bare fight until to the end. We are not afraid of anyone else. We are Zimbabweans. We are allowed to demonstrate. We are allowed to show to the whole world that there is no democracy in our country. We can't breathe now. We have been suppressed by the oppressor. Smith was better than this. We are now having a black Smith in our country. So, when they went to war themselves, they were fighting to have freedom. Yavakutivharira nhasi isusu kuti tisava with that freedom. So, we are not going to fold our hands, comrades. Expect us to act as politicians. Something is coming on board. We're going to mobilize our people. You know, there is something that spoke in my mind. Hanzi Tyson haana vanhu, but uri kumutywa kuti apinde muring. Kana asina vanhu, just allow Tyson to go and contest, owana hake 0 votes ka, toziva kuti haana vanhu. Doing all this kutya. Murume anotya mumwe murume. Mbwende. We are going to demonstrate. This is coming. Poto yatotanga kufashaira izvizvi. Tinoibika manje manje. Taneta nekunotify. We will notify them, and if they don't accept our notification, we will go ahead. We will go ahead. We are ready for anything on our way. Tingaiteka revolution isina ma challenges, isina ma obstacles. Inenge isisiri revolution. What we are fighting for is not us, comrades. We are just fighting for the generations to come. Ina ndiri kuzotukwa inini nevazukuru kana nevana vedu kunzi zvibaba zvedu zvanga zvakapusa. No. Toda kusiyata vagadzirirawo nyika yakanaka inenge ichitongeka zvakanaka. So I'm ready to put my head on the block and march forward to make sure that democracy prevails at the end of the day.
Any questions?
Okay, if I can secure SABC News. I have one, I need clarity on. Ms. Jackie, you say that the process or this election process is a shame, and whatever outcome, no one can claim that the result will be legitimate. But I see you keep fighting and wanting to participate in this. already shame and whose outcome is always going to be illegitimate. I just need you to explain to me, why do you keep fighting when you actually have already discredited the process and the outcome?
We are fighting for the people of Zimbabwe. We have no option but to keep fighting. Because remember, when President Kasukuwere threw his name in the ring, it was because there was a call from the people of Zimbabwe. We cannot let down the people of Zimbabwe because of one man. You will see that this election is unlike the previous elections, where disputes arise after the election day itself. Here we see that the president himself, using his proxies, the ruling party, using his proxies, is the one which has been approaching the courts and manipulating the court outcomes in their favor. But we have no option but to trudge on because the people have mandated us to do so. We are not fighting a battle for one man. We are fighting a battle for millions of Zimbabweans' right to choose a leader of their choice. That right is not limited or is not invested in the judicial. It is given to one man for himself to go out on 23 August to vote for himself or for herself, whomsoever they wish to lead. But we have seen that the courts, in collusion with ZANU-PF, in collusion with Emerson Mnangagwa, have taken it upon themselves to try and vote for each other through dubious court orders which they cannot even back. If that judgment had ever been, we would have been there for an hour with the judge reading out the reasons why they think that this appeal is lame, but they cannot even do so. In 1 minute, they were out. This is not a judgment that should be accepted as a fair judgment. In spite of all these challenges, we are saying we are battling on. We are not backing down because we have no choice. We are using all avenues open to us until democracy is attained in Zimbabwe. Because what we have is not a democratic process. What we have is a dictatorship who has captured all institutions, including ZEC, to manipulate the result in one man's favor. That cannot be allowed to happen.
Is a candidate, will your candidate vote on 23 August?
My brother, he's a registered voter. So no one is going to stop him from exercising his democratic right to vote. He'll be in Zimbabwe to exercise his right to vote.
So he's coming?
Yes.
If there are no other questions, I would like to make sure
Mukoma, mukanoverenga bumbiro remutemo rinokuudzai kuti ikodzero yemuZimbabwe kudemonstrata kana paine zvinhu zvaari kuona zvaona kuti hazvisi kufamba zvakanaka munyika, inova iri nzira yekuratidza nyunyuto yezvinhu zviri kuvhiringidzwa nehurumende iri kutonga. So nekudaro kuratidzira kunotenderwa. Saka isu tafunga kuti regai tiratidzire matongerwo akuitwa nyika haasiriwo, maitiro akuita judiciary haasiriwo. Saka funga kuti zviri nani tiratidzire kuratidza kuti tiri kunyunyuta pane zvinhu zvisiri kufamba zvakanaka munyika yedu yeZimbabwe.
in the event that none of your plans work out, are you by chance going to endorse any other opposition party?
We are not looking at failure. Failure is not an option for us. We have taken all these challenges head on, and we are saying in spite of all of these challenges that have been thrown our way, we are persisting and we are pursuing. This is about the democratic rights, with the constitutional rights of Zimbabweans to choose their leaders. So when you are fighting for something inherent, you don't give up, you persist. Comrade President Kasukuwere is entitled to be voted for. His supporters are entitled to vote for him. This is enshrined in the Constitution, and you are saying failure is not an option.
There's a hand there.
Hello, Madam. It's my message to me. There seems to be a likelihood in terms of the challenges being faced by all political parties interested in participating in this election. There is the ceasing matter of the off MPs, which you did highlight in your presentation, and the President Kasukuwere matter. Is there any possibility of a joint cooperation in the approach to redress this imbalance?
All right. My brother, I think that question needs us as politicians. There's nothing that could stop us as Zimbabweans. Remove names of political parties. We are Zimbabweans. For us to achieve what we want to achieve, Zimbabweans should get united, regardless our political backgrounds. I think that is a stage that is now coming closer and closer to all other political leaders. We can't say this is a matter which belongs to CCC, so let us just leave them and sort out their problems. We need to join hands with other political parties and confront the big elephant in the room, which has tended to be dangerous to the society and to its citizens. So I just think it's proper, you are right, to say all of us, regardless of CCC, Tyson, MDC Alliance, or any other political party, to be ignored fighting their own battles on their own. We need to join hands and fight for democracy to prevail at the end of the day. It's not only CCC which will suffer, it's Zimbabweans. It's not only Tyson supporters who will suffer, it's Zimbabweans. So democracy is for everyone, including himself. And even we don't want to see him being arrested. We want him to go and stay Kwamapanzuri. Vachirima is our elders in our society. So it matters most to get united as Zimbabweans and confront the problems that we are facing as a nation together.
Well answered.
You are answered?
Well answered.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for raising us. We shall be updating you of any progress